Sam Pittman was always someone I had a soft spot for as a head coach of Arkansas. He is someone you could tell most of the time his team wanted to play hard for. He just fit Arkansas. With that being said though, the team looked like it gave up this week against Notre Dame, and after constantly being on the hot seat in recent years, I texted a bunch of my fellow YouTubers and said that I felt Arkansas was going to let Pittman go following their 56-13 loss at home. Now, Arkansas will be looking for a new head coach. Let's talk about that. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know who you think Arkansas should hire to be their next head coach in the comment section below. Back in December of 2019, Sam Pittman would be named the head coach of Arkansas, replacing Chad Morris, over candidates that included Lane Kiffin and the late great Mike Leach. Several of Pittman's former players lobbied for him to get the job, including writing an open letter to Arkansas's administrators shortly after Morris's firing. Pittman had served as an assistant head coach and offensive line coach for the Razorbacks from 2013 to 2015 and was holding the same role at Georgia at the time. As ESPN described him, Pittman was popular and folksy. 2020 would be a rough start, but a 9-4 season in 2021 brought a lot of excitement to the program. They just couldn't repeat that success, and it felt like since 2022, Pittman was on and off the hot seat from an outsider's perspective. Following a 2-3 start, an embarrassing loss to Notre Dame this past weekend, Pittman was finally fired. Since 2011, they've only had one season where they won more than 8 games, and they haven't won a conference championship since 1989, haven't played in the SEC title game since 2006. Yet the fanbase cares and supports the team through thick and thin. It's an SEC job with a supportive administration, so it's going to get more interest than the other jobs currently open. But Fayetteville is a really difficult place to find consistent success at. The first coach I want to talk about is Bobby P, as he rides again, and oh my god, it would be hilarious if he were to turn things around and be retained as head coach going forward. Petrino has had one of the craziest and most controversial coaching careers over the past 2 decades. In 2001, he left the Jacksonville Jaguars to become the offensive coordinator at Auburn without even informing head coach Tom Coughlin. In 2003, he left to become the head coach at Louisville and apparently secretly interviewed with Tiger boosters to potentially take the Auburn head coaching job from his still employed former boss, Tommy Tuberville. He signed a 10-year contract with Louisville after going 41-9, winning the Conference USA, Big East, and an Orange Bowl, but 6 months later, he left to become the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Without Michael Vick, Petrino would go 3-10 and 13 games in, bolted to Arkansas, leaving behind a 78-word letter. Petrino turned Arkansas around from a 5-7 team his first year to 11-2 in 2011, improving every season. They would make the Sugar Bowl and won the Cotton Bowl, and even finished ranked in the top 5 of the AP poll in 2011. He was 34-17 heading into his 5th season, then the infamous motorcycle accident occurred. On April 1st, 2012, Petrino was involved in a motorcycle crash on Arkansas's Highway 16 near the city of Crosses. He was riding with former Arkansas All-SEC volleyball player Jessica Dorrell, whom he had hired on March 28th as a student-athlete development coordinator for the football program after she served as a fundraiser in the Razorback Foundation. Petrino initially said he was alone on the motorcycle. It was then later discovered he lied. He was actually having an affair with Dorrell. Petrino would be fired and would be hired by Western Kentucky in 2013, going 8-4 before being rehired by Louisville. He coached Lamar Jackson to the Heisman in 2016, but after 4 successful seasons going 8-5 and 9-4, a 2-8 start in 2018 would lead to his firing. He coached Missouri State, going 18-15 and leading them to back-to-back FCS playoff appearances and to the Missouri Valley Conference title in 2020. In 2023, he would be hired by UNLV to be their offensive coordinator, but 21 days later left to be Jimbo Fisher's offensive coordinator at Texas A&M. He would not be retained by Mike Elko, would instead return to Arkansas to serve as their offense coordinator. When Petrino was hired, Pittman was already on the hot seat, and everybody felt it would be hilarious to see him serve as the interim head coach. Well, here we are, and the jokes have already started. Seth Emerson wrote this week, "You'd think Arkansas could do better than finding someone who was fired from Louisville 7 years ago and 3 games over 500 at an FCS school, and his only head coaching stint since." Petrino is already overhauling the staff, firing former two-time Broyles Award finalist defensive coordinator Travis Williams and defensive line coach DK Adams. This is going to be a disaster, isn't it? Alex Golesh is going to be the hottest name on the head coaching market this coaching cycle, and I see him ending up at Florida over any other school if that job opens up, or he might stay at USF. With that being said, if you're a decision maker at Arkansas, it is a phone call you need to make, at the very least, just to ask. Golesh started his coaching career at Westerville Central High School in Ohio before becoming a student assistant at Ohio State. He would then become a grad assistant for Northern Illinois and Oklahoma State. He served as a position coach and recruiting coordinator at Toledo, Illinois, and Iowa State, while also serving as Illinois special teams coach in 2015. In 2020, he joined Josh Heupel's staff at UCF, serving as his offensive coordinator and tight ends coach. Followed Heupel to Tennessee in 2021 before being named the head coach at USF. Since taking over, he has turned a dreadful South Florida program into one of the premier Group of 5 programs in the nation, going 7-6 and winning their bowl game in 2023 and 2024. To put that in perspective, they were 4-29 before his arrival. To start this season off, USF would upset Boise State in Florida or fall to Miami. He's one of the most innovative offenses in the nation and he recruits at a high level. Last year, USF finished with the second-ranked recruiting class in the American, while in 2024 they had the best class in the conference, in 2023 they had the 6th-ranked class in the conference. He could bring Arkansas back to their glory days. Barry Odom is from Oklahoma and has coaching experience coaching in the SEC after his time at Missouri. Odom played linebacker at Missouri and would start his coaching career at the high school level in Oklahoma and Missouri, before returning to his alma mater to serve as a graduate assistant. In 2004, he was named director of recruiting and slowly worked his way up before being named the defensive coordinator and linebacker coach at Memphis in 2012. In 2015, he returned to Missouri, serving as their defensive coordinator and linebacker coach. After Gary Pinkel retired, Odom would be named the head coach in 2016. Missouri would be average and Odom would finish with a record of 25-25 and would be fired following the 2019 season. In 2019, he was hired to be Arkansas's defensive coordinator, safety coach, and assistant head coach under Sam Pittman. He turned Arkansas's defense around, making them one of the best in the nation, and would be hired by UNLV as their head coach. Odom turned the Rebels program around, leading them to a 10-3 record, with their 10-win season in 2024 tying the program record for wins in a season. He would finish with a 19-8 record and 12-3 record in the Mountain West Conference play. He would then be hired by Purdue as their head coach this past offseason. He's currently sitting at 2-2. Odom knows Arkansas and has found success recently. He could be an important person to keep an eye on during this coaching search. Jon Gruden is a name that is popping up for this job, but I think it would be an absolute disaster. Gruden went 117-112 as an NFL head coach and won the 2002 Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Following an email scandal, Gruden would be forced to resign as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders back in 2021 and has since served as a consultant for the Saints and the Milano Seamen. Gruden hasn't coached in college since 1991 when he served as Pitt's wide receivers coach. According to Brett Favre, a great resource, don't you think? Gruden would be a perfect hire, saying on Twitter, "I've always said Jon Gruden was one of the sharpest minds in football. His energy, passion, and love for the game are a perfect fit for the SEC. Wouldn't be surprised to see him land somewhere like Arkansas. I could see Gruden being a spark for that program. Like with Petrino, Gruden would be a historically glorious disaster in my opinion." As USA Today's Blake Toppermeyer wrote this week, hiring Gruden would be plenty bold, sufficiently daring, and profusely dumb. John Summerall is a proven winner as a head coach, albeit at the Group of 5 level. Summerall played college football at Kentucky before becoming a grad assistant following a career-ending injury. He would be named the defensive line coach and recruiting coordinator at San Diego State in 2007, would be promoted to assistant head coach and defense coordinator in 2010. In 2012, he served as Tulane's co-defense coordinator before joining Troy's coaching staff in 2015 as their assistant head coach and special teams coach. He would be named the linebacker coach at Ole Miss in 2018 and returned to Kentucky in 2019, serving as their inside linebacker coach. In 2021, he would be promoted to co-defensive coordinator. In 2022, he took over as Troy's head coach, winning 2 Sun Belt Conference titles and being named the Sun Belt Coach of the Year, going 23-4 and 14-2 in Sun Belt play. He was then named Tulane's head coach in 2024, going 9-5 last year, and currently has the Green Wave sitting at 4-1 this year. Summerall is a proven winner who could help Arkansas turn things around. Jeff Traylor is a proven head coach, having turned around the UTSA football program. Traylor grew up in Gilmore, Texas, and played at Stephen F. Austin. From 1989 to 2014, he served as a high school head football coach, coaching Josh, Luke, and Randy McCown, Kenneth Pettyway, Manuel Johnson, Curtis Brown, David Snow, G.J. Kinney, Gus Johnson, Blake Lynch, and Chris Boyd. He coached at Big Sandy High School and Jacksonville High School as an assistant. He would get his first head coaching job in 2000 at Gilmore High School, leading them to a 175-26 record, 5 state title appearances, 3 state titles, being named the Texas High School Coach of the Year for Class 4A 4 times, and he left such a legacy at Gilmore, they would name their high school stadium after him. He was hired by Texas as their special teams coach and tight end coach in 2015, became SMU's assistant head coach and running back coach under Chad Morris. He would follow Morris to Arkansas, serving in the same role in 2018, before being named UTSA's 3rd head coach in program history. He has led them to 5 of their 6 program's bowl game appearances, their only 2 bowl game wins in program history, and their first 2 conference titles in program history, their best record in program history, and an overall record of 48-22. He was on the radar for high-profile jobs like Texas A&M after leading UTSA to 23 wins and consecutive Conference USA titles from 2021 to 2022. Traylor remains one of the most connected and respected coaches in Texas, which are key recruiting grounds for Arkansas, and he could be a great culture fit. The only potential concern is whether the 57-year-old's stock has cooled a bit, as UTSA is 9-8 since the start of the 2024 season. Ryan Silverfield has found a ton of success at Memphis, led the Tigers to an upset win over Arkansas earlier this year. He started his coaching career at the high school level in Florida before returning to Hampden-Sydney for 4 seasons. He then spent time at Memorial Day High School as their head coach in 2004, before joining the Jacksonville program as their quarterback coach. He then spent 2 seasons with UCF as their GA before spending time with the Minnesota Vikings of the NFL. In 2014, he returned to college, serving as an offensive consultant for Toledo, an assistant with Arizona State and the Detroit Lions of the NFL. In 2016, he joined Memphis' coaching staff as their offensive line coach and worked his way up to being named head coach in 2020. Since taking over, Memphis has been one of the premier group of 5 programs, and since 2023, Memphis is 24-5, including this season, and Silverfield is 45-21 as head coach. He has taken the Tigers to 5 bowl games, and Silverfield may be ready to take a step up, especially since Memphis isn't getting a Power 4 invite anytime soon, although they have been successful. Dan Mullen's name is linked to every job opening currently. Mullen found success at Mississippi State and Florida as head coach, going 69-46 and to 8 straight bowl games at Starkville, including the 2014 Orange Bowl, while going 34-15 and making 3 straight New Year's Six bowls, or being fired after starting the 2021 season 5-6 at Florida. Mullen famously destroyed his image by saying, "We'll talk about recruiting during the recruiting season," in November, a few months before signing day, a class that finished 8th in the SEC, and just days after UGA roughed them up in a rivalry game. It was a bad quote that was not the real reality for Florida. They recruited all year long. With how Florida has been under Napier, there has been some greater appreciation for Mullen's time with the Gators, especially when the facilities at the time were worse than UNLV's. Mullen would go into the media, but a $17.5 million offer by UNLV brought him out of retirement. The Rebels are now sitting at 4-0 on the season, continuing the success Odom found at Vegas. Tyson Helton has found a ton of success at Western Kentucky, has made some great coordinator hires throughout his time there, but still has not earned a big-time college football offer. Helton played quarterback at Houston before becoming a grad assistant under June Jones in 2000. Became the tight ends coach and special teams coach in 2001, and held the same role with Memphis from 2004 to 2006. In 2007, he would be named UAB's quarterback coach and would move to the running backs in 2012. In 2013, he would be named Cincinnati special teams and tight ends coach, or being named offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at Western Kentucky in 2014. In 2016, he served as USC's pass game coordinator and quarterback coach, and served as Tennessee's OC and quarterback coach in 2018. In 2019, he took over the Hilltoppers program to serve as head coach. Since taking over, he has led Western Kentucky to 6 straight bowl games and to the Conference USA Conference title game twice. He is currently 52-33, and his only losing season so far came in 2020. I want to close this video out with who I think will be Arkansas's next coach, Rhett Lashley, who would be a hometown hero, and it would be a homecoming if he were hired. Lashley grew up in Springdale, Arkansas, and played quarterback for the Razorbacks from 2002 to 2004, serving as Matt Jones' backup before a shoulder injury ended his playing career. He returned to Springfield in 2005 to coach quarterbacks at the high school level, before serving as a grad assistant for Arkansas in 2006, serving under offense coordinator Gus Malzahn. When Malzahn was hired to be the head coach at Tulsa, he would offer a spot to Lashley, but he would choose to leave coaching for a few years, writing a high school magazine with his brother for the state of Arkansas. While working on the magazine, he developed relationships with Arkansas high school coaches. He rejoined Malzahn's staff when he was hired by Auburn as their OC, serving as a grad assistant, again being named the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at Stanford. He would serve in the same role at Arkansas State and Auburn under Malzahn, or being hired by UConn as their OC and quarterback coach, while also serving in the same role at SMU and Miami. He was named the head coach of SMU heading into the 2022 season, found a ton of success there. He's gone 31-14 coaching the Mustangs, leading them to the college football playoffs last year in his first season in the ACC, and to the American Conference title in 2023. He knows the state of Arkansas and may still have some important connections from his magazine days. The question is, do we want to give up the unlimited resources he has as SMU to return home? What do you think? Who should Arkansas hire to be their next head coach? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos, YouTube things you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.